All right, YouTube. So this is my Marlin 1895, and been thinking about doing this for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and do it today. I'm going to do a paracord wrap on the lever. This is my deer hunting rifle. You see I got a scope on it. I like it. I know some people hiss when you put a scope on a lever gun, but it gets me a little more hunting time, and it gets me a little longer shot. This is not a JM model. This is a Remington Marlin 1895. And I've got it set up that way so that we can see the bottom of the lever for me to do the paracord. And of course the paracord's there on the dresser. So I've got my Caldwell dead shot bags. This is actually set up for the side guide angle so you can see it better with the camera. Okay, so took my sling, took the front swing swivel off, and sling swivel. I cannot talk today. Sling swivel off. And we're going to come in here and I'm going to let you kind of see what I do and how I do it. Okay, so I've wrapped a few lever guns before, and this one is my lever gun, and I want to wrap it. So start off, I've got just camo paracord, and the idea being that I'm hunting, so you know, camo. I don't know. That's what I have around, and I cut. This is just a hair over 6 feet to do this. That's more than I need, but you definitely want more than you need. And I've got one long piece, and what I'm going to do is center this. So here's the center. If you grab the two ends and you pull as far, you know, pull it tight, grab the center, okay? And so I'm going to, this is the center of this cord, and the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to put the center of this cord right here, okay? Very front of the lever. And some folks will even go so far as to tie a knot. And if you're going to do that, what you want to do is you actually want to run one piece, let me get this right, okay? And tying the knot, the only reason for tying the knot is it'll hold it there. The other thing you can do is like tack this in place with a little piece of tape. Not a big fan of putting tape on my gun, so I'm actually going to tie a knot. It's not even really a knot, just one pull here. So you do kind of a, if you've ever done a double knot, basically like that. Okay, so we start with that. Make sure you guys are seeing this really well. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so all you can see is the lever here. Okay, so that's where we're going to start with, that little knot. Half of it, just twist the strings together like starting to tie your shoelaces. Okay, cool. So you got your left side and your right side. Okay, and the way this is going to work is one side is going to go under the lever. Okay, so that side's going to go under the lever. You're going to leave a loop, okay? This side is going to go over the lever, and it's also going to leave a loop. Now, the guy who went over has to go through that loop, so I'm going to put it there, okay? And the guy who went under has to go through that loop, okay? And if you are with me right now, you just made your first paracord knot. Okay, and you'll do a bunch of these. So one string always goes under, one always goes over. They both leave a loop, and they have to go through the other guy's loop. And then you pull it tight, and you push it to the front of the gun as far as you can. Okay, cool. Now, this left-hand side was your under. It went under. Okay, he's going to go under again. So the same cord goes under every time, and the same cord goes over every time. So this guy goes under, okay? And the guy who showed me this actually would put a little piece of like orange or yellow tape on the under end, and so that side always went under. That's the way he did it. I just try to keep up, okay? So that guy goes under, and this guy goes over, okay? So under and over. And then through each other's loops. So the over guy goes through the under loop, and the under guy goes through the over loop. Okay? And pull it tight. And what you'll notice is you'll see these series of loops that alternate down the side. Okay? So let me do another one, right? So this was my over cord. So he's going to go over. Just place it like that. This is my under cord. And he's going to go under. And when I go under, I'm going to just go ahead and go through that loop, okay? So there, he's through that over guy's loop, and We're going to go through the under guy's loop, and we're going to pull tight. Okay? And then I'm going to show you another way to keep up with it besides color coding your cords. Okay? If you look at this cord right here, you can see it goes on top of the lever through that loop and around. So this is your top cord. This guy here is your top cord. Okay? And so it's going to alternate right, left. And every 1 or 2 knots, you want to give it a shove forward because you want to cover as much of the lever as you can with cord. And the only way to do that is to get a good tight pattern. So you take your underside, you thread it under the lever. You take your overside, and you go over the lever. And when you go over the lever, you got to go through his knot, right? And try not to let these get twisted. And then this guy's got to go through his knot, pull it tight. Push it forward. And you'll start to see there's a loop here, a loop here, a loop here, okay? And so the loops alternate. If you don't alternate loops, you put the wrong guy under or over, okay? So this is my over cord because he goes from right here through that loop and off to the side. So he's going to go over. Just lay him over. This guy's going to go under and through that loop. And then the loop we just made, the guy who went over the lever goes through. And then I'm just going to finish this up real quick because I can stand and explain it, or I can just do it. And it's pretty quick. Once you get the pattern down, it's pretty quick. And you'll see how I do it. And anyway, so we'll roll on to the end here. That's over. Almost boo-booed, see? So that's my overside. I lay him over, run this guy under. He's through. He's through. Pull it tight. Push it forward. And as you get closer to the end, it's very, very important that you do that. Push it forward. Okay? And you'll see, eventually you'll start to see that I'm starting to run fairly short on paracord, but I won't run out. Like I said, 6 feet for a standard lever is plenty. For a big loop lever, it should be fine as well. I say should be, but it should be. And again, pay attention to these little loops on the side, and you'll see, right? Back and forth, right, left, right, left, right. So the next one has to be over here, okay? So anyway, that's my over loop. That's my under loop. Grab him, pull him under, leave a little loop for the over guy to go through. And every time, right before you pull tight, you're going to see this. This guy's through the loop on the left. This guy's through the loop on the right. One's from the top, one's from the bottom. Okay? It's very repetitive once you get it. And anything skinny like this can be wrapped. You can actually take, I've got keychain holders. I've got all sorts of crazy things that are made out of paracord. You know, and a couple of options for your centerpiece here. If you don't have a rifle lever, you could use a really small dowel rod. You can actually use 3 or 4 layers of paracord as the center, and then paracord knot over it to make it really, really stiff and strong and pretty cool, actually. So, all right, so that's my under, that's my over, and just keep going. And it depends on the person. There's no rules here, but I'm gonna paracord all the way to where this meets the stock. Okay, so eventually I'm gonna have to pull my lever up to do that. But for right now, I'm just gonna leave it where it is. It's not hurting the sole, and when I need it, I'll move it. Okay, so, and if you think you got it, that's great. If you don't watch the rest of the video, but I have this kind of OCD-ness that I want to finish it, so I'm gonna finish it. So anyway, run that over and through, run that under and through. Like I said, it's once you get this knot, this pattern down, it's pretty repetitive. So now I'm starting to get to this curve. I'm going to go ahead and pop this lever up since you guys have seen this pretty well. And this is my over cord. So we're going to go over and we're going to go under. And every time one of these will go over the lever, one of these will go under the lever. Keep pushing forward, keep it nice and tight, nice and firm. This is my under, and this is my over. Right? This is my under, and a lot of times I'll just go under and then I'll throw it forward. That automatically puts it through the top loop, if that helps anybody. Like I said, I've made a bunch of these for different people's lever guns. I actually sold out a 45 Colt lever gun that was wrapped, and I sold it, and I never got around to doing this one. And yeah, just really want to do it. So thought I'd make a video. Thought it would be a cool video. Okay, so if you own a lever gun, it's a really, really easy thing to do. The hardest thing is finding good paracord. You go like to places like Walmart, and they sell, air quotes here, paracord, and it's not really good paracord, and you can tell by how filled the cord is. So if you pull on it and it kind of flattens out, it's just not as good a paracord. It'll make a nice wrap, but it twists easier than this does. This stuff, when I twist it, I can twist it a lot. See if you can see that. I'm twisting this cord, and it takes a lot of twisting. And eventually, if you keep twisting and keep twisting and keep twisting, you'll start to get this corkscrew here. Okay? With crummy paracord, if you do that, it'll actually get a fold in it. It'll actually like a hose kinks. That's how you know you got good or crappy paracord. Okay? So zoom out just a hair here and finish this up. So right, this is my overside, and I know that because it goes here and through the knot. So I'm going to go over and going to go under. And at some point, I'm going to get to the end. And that's when we have to decide what to do. And what I do is I actually tie a knot in it. So I'm going to raise this up a little bit more so you can see we're starting to get, and I'm going to go to right here. So one or two more of these and I'll be good. So that goes over and that goes under through the actual loop of the gun. If I can get it to go. All right, so that's, if I put that down, that's pretty much to where I'd want that to be, right there where it meets the stock. I'm pretty happy with that. Do not get your cord under here. This has enough thickness, believe it or not. These Marlins and several other lever guns have a little safety here, right? It's behind the trigger that this guy has to engage. So this has to be squeezed for you to fire the gun. This has to be squeezed down for you to fire the gun. Basically, it won't fire unless the lever's shut. It's a mechanical safety. And if you get that paracord too far down here, the lever will not shut far enough for the gun to function. And you'll have to take all this off. Now, so we're at the end. We're done. You have two options. Option one is to come back together and tie a knot. And then cut this paracord off after you've tied that knot. And you're done. Okay? That's option one. I think it's hideous, and I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to show you option two. Okay? Option two, get my camera set here. Option two is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut this, just like I would if I knotted it. But I'm not going to tie a knot. I'm going to leave it just like it is. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this. Okay? So I'm going to get my knife and a butane lighter. Okay? Now I'm going to leave a little gap here. Not huge, but a gap. Okay? So something about like that. I'm going to cut this. Don't want to pull on it too much. Just want to cut through it. Not trying to slice it in one slice. Kind of want it to be a little frayed, and I'll show you why. Okay? Same thing over here. You're going to leave quarter, maybe 3/8 of an inch, something like that. And you're going to cut through this. Okay? And you've been pulling it tight the whole time, and it'll kind of hold itself. If you walked away right now and you use this gun, after a few weeks it'd start to unravel. But it's pretty solid. Now, still got my knife handy. Keep your knife handy. Take my butane lighter here. and I'm going to burn this end. Get it to where it's literally on fire. Okay, blow it out and then push it. What that does is it actually melts that into that last loop. And it's better than tying a knot. I'll go here, do the same thing, light that on fire, and then push it with the knife. Okay? So push it with the knife. So what I've done, I'm going to zoom in real close here now. I got this thing on a tripod. I'm going to take it off for you to see. What I've done is literally just push that in so there's no knot. It just ends there. So anyway, that's our paracord lever wrap on the model 1895. And there's my excess string if you want to see my... So I had, I don't know, about a foot on one side and a little less than a foot on the other, which means I wasn't exactly centered, but I was close. So only probably 4.5 feet of paracord in there, 4.5 feet, which is why I said if you got the big loop, 6 feet, maybe add an extra foot, 7 feet, you're going to have a little left over. But there's no knot up front, there's no knot in the back, there's no high spot, there's no hump. It's a really nice wrap, finishing it with those burnt ends. And then if you find a sharp spot, so okay, where I burnt this, there's a little sharp spot, you can just take a file or a Dremel and just get that sharp spot to knock it down. I wouldn't take a knife because it's too easy to cut a piece of the paracord with it, but now you've got your nice lever against your paracord wrap on your lever against your hand. So that's how you do a single color lever wrap. And I'm going to come back in a minute and show you how to do a two-tone lever wrap, which is 2 different colors of paracord wrapping either a lever or a dowel rod or some more paracord. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be glad to answer them.